సార్ గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ సార్. సుందరకృష్ణ గారు గుడ్ మార్నింగ్.
గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ సార్. వినపడుతుందా? సార్ కిరణ్ గారు వినపడుతుందా? హలో
సార్, గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ సార్. సార్ వినిపిస్తుంది సార్.
ఓకే ఓకే రైట్.
Dr. Kadambari ma'am, welcome you ma'am. Within few minutes the session will going to start ma'am. Very good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you.
Good morning, madam. This is Kiran Kumar, Krishna University.
Madam,
madam.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
వంశీ బిఎస్ఎల్ గారు
అక్కడ కనెక్ట్ అవ్వకపోతే వంశీ కనెక్ట్ అవ్వకపోతే సార్ని తీసుకొచ్చేసి కూర్చోడా
పెట్టుకోండి.
Start కాలేదు. Sir, good morning, sir.
గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ కిరణ్.
Sir. Shall I start, sir?
Good morning, sir.
స్టార్ట్ చేయండి.
Good morning, sir. Morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Sundar Krishna.
సార్ ఒక 2 minutes సార్ వస్తారు సార్.
Okay. Sir, Principal garu, good morning.
Good morning, Andy. Good morning. Sundar Krishna, good morning, Andy.
Good morning, sir.
Sir, Varaprasad garu, good morning.
Sir, good morning, sir. DG Krishna Mohan, organizer. I can't learn, huh?
Yes.
Good morning to one and all. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor K.B. Chandrasekhar garu, respected Registrar, Professor Y.K. Sundar Krishna garu, respected Principal, Krishna University, College of Arts and Science, Professor D. Surichandra Rao garu, respected Principal E. Varaprasad garu, KBN College, Head of the Department, Dr. Vijay Kumar garu, today's resource person, Dr. K.V. Kadambari garu, Head of the Department, Computer Science, KBN College, Bharati garu, colleagues, dear participants, good morning to one and all. At the outset, I would like to thank our Honorable and beloved Vice Chancellor, Professor K.V. Chandrasekhar garu, for granting permission to organize this webinar in association with KBN College, Vijayawada. Today, we are going to organize this webinar on emerging trends in computer science. As there are rapid changes in the technology, we need to find emerging computing technologies like Internet of Things, cybersecurity, blockchain technologies, robotics, machine learning and its application. Today's webinar focused on the main objective of this seminar is to present future technologies for various applications that are used to for our regular daily applications. And this webinar, I hope this webinar will help the students, faculty, and researchers for their career. With these few words, I hand over the mic to Dr. Bharati Madam for further proceedings. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Very good morning to one and all. I am Dr. Bharati from Department of MCA KBN College. It gives me great pleasure to extend to you all a warm welcome to the distinguished Chief Guest, Professor K.B. Chandrasekhar Garu, Vice Chancellor, Krishna University. Guest of honors, Professor D. Surchandra Rao Garu, Principal, University College of Arts and Sciences, Krishna University. Sri E. Varaprasad Garu, Principal, KBN College. Professor Y.K. Sundar Krishna Garu, Registrar, Krishna University. And resource persons, Dr. K.V. Kadambari Garu from Sri T. Anjireddy Garu, Miracle Software Systems, USA. So now I would like to invite Professor D. Surchandra Rao Garu, Principal of University College of Arts and Sciences, Krishna University, who has a long association with our college. Now I request sir to speak a few words on this occasion.
Respected Vice Chancellor, Krishna University, Professor K.B. Chandrasekhar Garu, Registrar, Professor Y.K. Sundar Krishna Garu, Webinar Director, Dr. R. Kiran Kumar Garu, the Principal, KBN College, Varaprasad Garu, Head of the Department of Computer Science, University College of Arts and Science, Vijay Kumar Garu, all the delegates, the participants, good morning to all of you. I'm indeed happy to associate myself with this one-day national webinar on emerging trends in computer science. So this is the second the seminar from Department of the Computer Science, of course from June onwards, and it is the 10th seminar from the University College of Arts and Science. I wish to bring to your notice that Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor K.B. Chandrasekhar Garu released a calendar for a period of 6 months from June to December. So the calendar pertaining to the seminars, workshops and conferences being organized by University College of Arts and Science in the coming the 6 months. So all departments put together, around 50 seminars the University College of Arts and the Science is going to conduct. Being a principal of this institution, I'm really happy for the competitive spirit and the way they are conducting so the academic events so during this the pandemic. And with regard to the topic of the seminar, emerging trends in computer science. Yes, there are certain programs which are very, very dynamic. So unless the stakeholders of the program update themselves, it is not possible for them to continue in the field of the computer science. Yes, I do agree with the webinar director. So a lot of technologies are unfolding. So if you compare the present day technologies with the technologies 1 decade back, you will find sea change. So definitely this seminar is going to benefit all the stakeholders, including faculty, the students, and even the participants also. It is of much use, I believe. And with these few words, I thank the organizers for the opportunity given to me. Over to Bharati, the convener of this webinar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wishes. It gives me an immense pleasure to invite Sri E. Varaprasad Garu, our beloved principal, who has an indomitable spirit to maintain the discipline and whose contribution adds growth of this institution. Now I request you to say a few words on this occasion.
Most distinguished chief guest of today's one-day national webinar, Professor K.B. Chandrasekhar Garu, Vice Chancellor, Krishna University. Guests of honor, Professor D. Surichandra Rao Garu, Principal, University College of Arts and Sciences, Krishna University, and Professor Y.K. Sundara Krishna Garu, Registrar, Krishna University. Webinar Director, Dr. R. Kiran Kumar Garu, Department of Computer Science, Krishna University. Respected resource persons of today's national webinar, Dr. K.V. Kadambari Garu, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science Engineering, NIT Warangal. Another resource person, Sri T. Anjireddy Garu, Solution Architect, RPA and BOTS, Miracle Software Systems, United States of America. Webinar convener, Dr. P. Bharati Devi, Head Department of MCA, KBN College Autonomous, and convener of this webinar. Dr. R. Vijay Kumari Garu, webinar convener and Head Department of Computer Science, Krishna University, Machilipatnam. Participants, faculty members, scholars, students, ladies and gentlemen, a warm good morning to you all. At the very outset, I deem it honor and privilege to be a part of this one-day national webinar on emerging trends in computer science, being organized by the Department of Computer Science, Krishna University, Machilipatnam, in association with KBN College Autonomous, Vijayawada, on the topic Emerging Trends in Computer Science. On behalf of Krishna University and on behalf of KBN College Autonomous, I take the opportunity to welcome you all to this one-day national webinar. Coming to today's topic. In fact, today's topic, emerging trends in computer science. See, there is a lot of revolution going on in the world, and especially in the field of technology. And I strongly believe that the organizers of this webinar has selected a nice topic to discuss in this webinar. And as we all know, the computer science field is one of the most fastest growing and high paying career paths in the world. The need for computer science education extends well beyond directing students towards degrees in computer science. Future readiness also comes down to computer science skills used across a variety of domains that fall outside the computer science field. Computer science is more than just a set of digital skills. It is a mindset founded on problem solving, critical and creative thinking, and computer science teaches students how to think and learn and grow. With the knowledge of how programming language work, how computing systems operate, and how networks drive connectivity, students understand technology and its adaptations and advancements, how to develop, troubleshoot, improve, and use it. Whether at home or at school or college or work at workplace, students need foundation computer science skills to continuously grow and adapt throughout their lifetime. Some of the important trends in the field of computer science are artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, cloud computing, etc. Artificial learning has been named a key driver for the fourth industrial revolution. We experience artificial intelligence in our homes, our cars, our business, and even in public spaces. And machine learning enables an artificial system to learn from data. Working in the field of artificial learning and machine learning means innovating the technology of tomorrow. With the emergence of cloud computing technology, companies no longer need their own servers to build products. As the cloud continues to grow, so will the demand for professionals with cloud computing skills, including cloud security, database management, and new architecture. And I hope this webinar will help you learning the emerging trends in the field of computer science. And before I conclude, I quote one of the quotations of the great scientist, that is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I quote, "The purpose of education is to make good human beings with skills and expertise." Well, I hope that this webinar aims at dealing with the emerging trends in the field of computer science. And before I conclude, I thank the Krishna University authorities, especially the Honorable Vice Chancellor, the Head Department of Computer Science and Applications, and other authorities of the university for giving us an opportunity to associate in conducting this webinar. I wish that the deliberations made in this webinar will help us all enlighten and guide us all to explore many more things in the chosen area. I wish the webinar a grand success. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. I now
Sir?
over to Dr. Bharati Devi.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Great privilege to welcome Professor Y.K. Sundar Krishna Garu, Registrar, Krishna University, whose personal academic achievements are a source of motivation for us. I extend my warm welcome to a man who has insatiable quest for knowledge and a person who uploads to his simplicity himself with a modest appearance. Professor Y.K. Sundar Krishna Garu, Registrar, Krishna University. Now I request sir to deliver his message.
Respected Vice Chancellor Garu, Professor K.B. Chandrasekhar Garu, and Principal, University College of Engineering, Professor D. Sunjit Surchandra Rao Garu, and Director of this webinar, Dr. R. Kiran Kumar Garu, and Principal, KBN College, Varaprasad Garu, and my department faculty members, and also Director, Coordinator for this webinar, Dr. R. Kiran Kumar Garu, Babu Reddy Garu, and Head of the Department, Vijay Kumar Garu, and today guests, Mr. K.V. Kadambari Garu and T. Anjireddy Garu, and Bharati Garu, coordinating from the KBN College, and all participants and faculty members. Good morning to you all. I can say that today's webinar organized by Department of Computer Science is a good topic and very useful topic on today's trends. And in my words, I can say in computer science, various development will happen in day by day. But we can categorize these developments. Anything today you want to happen, your networks are very much essential. So first of all, if you see new trends in network side, I can say next generation networks on coming days, that to go ahead, one step ahead, data aware networking with software defined networking, and also you can say Internet of Things. This is also a part of networking only. One more extent, we will go to the, not only we are connecting computing devices, so we are going to connecting analog devices and energy converters through IoT, and also with the IoT we require another type of networking component called fog computing. So this way, this next generation network, data aware networking, software defined networking, IoT and fog computing, there are the new trends I can say in network side. At the same side, other side, once you have a very good networking, now people are actually, initially they used to have automation of data, then people are used to automation of machines. We are running a machines with some program running in the computer. One more step ahead is, so to run these machines, people used to write a program and they used to execute the program instead of, but that scenario is have some limited. If you want to have an automation of very sophisticated equipment, so we need to have another program which learns how to run the machine. We will write a program which is used for learning the another program to run the machines. That is a technology called machine learning, and for that technology we require artificial intelligence. So these three things, that machine learning with artificial intelligence, where the machine themselves they can able to run the system with the help of existing networking. So once these two have, now we have a good job options, very good jobs, because huge amount of data is generating. One side is through machine learning, another side is networking side also, using this networking from different devices for different equipments and different organizations. So we are generating huge amount of data. We need to analyze the data and we need to use that results for our business applications or a health environment or different purposes. So we can use. So for that purpose, the new technologies data set, one is big data and data analytics, I can say. So these two technologies have very useful for the job purpose, because existing networking and these two things, and you can find nowadays good number of jobs in data analytics. Okay, these three are very recent. Actually, three categories I discussed. One is networking, another one is artificial intelligence, another one is data analytics side. So people are thinking only these through. Today morning I heard one more developments in the technology. But this is one side we can say positive, another side we can say some negative also. This is the only information I got just from through talking to one senior professor. One is today biological weapons. Biological weapons are, today COVID and other things leading to because of this biological weapons, and the people are thinking integrate this information technology or information things, or this I can say communication technologies with biological weapons. So these biological weapons, so they when you move from one place to another place, they use some intelligence and they try to behave in a different manner. This is one dangerous developments I can say. So the technology developments must be there, but at the same time it must be safeguard for the not only for our country but worldwide. So I can say so, but at the same time we can use these development for other side for a good purpose, controlling our health and other things. So, but these type of things, I can say some more things, but time is limited. So people are can think other side also new developments, some more steps are going in coming days. So keeping these views, and I can think today these points also might be discussed, which is useful for computer science people for seeing the coming developments. With these few words, I'm going to very much thanks to Dr. R. Kiran Kumar Garu for giving me this opportunity. Now I will hand over my mic to, before handovering, I can say I'm very much thankful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor Garu providing such a useful and excellent seminars, not only for computer science people, and these technologies are very useful for all other branch of sciences, arts, or engineering. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, Garu. And I request I hand over mic to Bharati Garu. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your expertise with us. Your insights were truly helpful, sir. Now, on behalf of the management, staff, students of KVN College, and also Krishna University, I take it a privilege to extend a hearty welcome to the Honorable Chief Guest of today's eve, Professor K.B. Chandrasekhar Garu, Vice Chancellor, Krishna University, an eminent academician. We are indeed grateful to you for your presence, sir. Your presence is always a moral boost for us. I thank you for making your presence despite your busy schedule. Now, I request you to share your valuable thoughts on this occasion, sir. Sir, we are not able to hear your voice, sir.
Sir, you have to unmute, sir.
Right.
Unmute yourself, sir.
So thank you, Bharati madam.
Thank you,
So
sir.
Professor Y.K. Sundara Krishna, the Registrar, the Krishna University, the Professor D. Surachandra Rao, the Principal, the University College of Arts and Science, the Krishna University, Sri T. Srinivasu, Secretary and Correspondent, the KBN College, the Vijayawada, Program Convener and in charge head, the Dr. Kiran Kumar, the coordinator from the KBN College, Bharati Devi, and guest speakers, the eminent speakers from the NIT Warangal, Dr. KV Kadambari, the Department of Computer Science, and another, the eminent speaker, Mr. T. Anjireddy, the Solution Architect, Miracle Software System, USA, the staff of the Computer Science Department, the participants, my dear students. So good morning to one and all. So I am happy to hear
Sir, mic mali mute illen, sir. I'm sorry. Mic mali mute.
the recently in Krishna University, Machilipatnam, the conducting the so many webinars from various departments as a part of the academics and also a research. Each and every department, they planned the 2 to 3 programs for a 6 months period from July to December 2021. It is a good start in the Krishna University to enlighten the subject in various departments for learning of the important topics, the advanced topics, and other the research oriented topics for the teachers as well as students. But here I observed that almost all the departments, the conducting the one-day national webinars or seminars. But the sincere advice to all of you, so why don't you conduct a 1 week a program? So not a seminar, it is a national-wide the faculty development program or student the oriented programs for 1 week. You choose at least the important topic and give the detailed the coursework for a particular topic. For example, in computer science, all of you know, in recently, the so many the important advanced the topics are teaching in various the engineering colleges and other the PG level colleges like data analytics, neural networks, bioinformatics, the blockchain technology, the robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, the neural network, the cyber security, etc. So many the very important the topics in computer science. But instead of the discussing the all topics in one session or one day national webinar, I think it is not a fruitful, and only the small information will get from experts. But my advice is you choose at least the any one of the important the recent the topics like nearly the 10 to 12 topics are there in computer science. You choose one, at least one, and at least a 1 week program, a 6 days or the 7 days program, the whole day, and inviting the experts from the various the corners from IITs, NITs, some software the companies, the etc. to give a detailed analysis regarding a particular topic, by a particular computer the topics. So then only the students and the young teachers can learn the advanced topics in depth. The same thing they may teach in classroom also. So the please the note down this point and the prepare at least the 1 week program in the Krishna University with collaboration of any the reputed universities or colleges or institutes. So that is my the sincere advice. However, the Krishna University really they started a good number of the programs in all departments, especially the computer science. This is the second program they are conducting. So I am really appreciating the all the faculty members who are the working in the Krishna University in computer science department. So this credit is goes to the college, the principal, Professor D. Surachandra Rao. He thought that, sir, why don't we conduct the seminars or webinars at a 1 semester program for a 6 months program in different intervals. So immediately, so I accepted his request and the given a permission. You go ahead and the a small financial the support also the university will give. And here the important thing is the Krishna University to give a good quality of the academics to students as well as the young teachers also for learning the various important topics in recent trends or the recent the research activities also. So I hope that so this the one day national webinar definitely useful for the teachers as well as the students, and you plan for a big the program in future. Thank you one and all for giving this opportunity.
Thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to share your ideas on this occasion. And also we would consider your and we plan for a webinar, sir. Definitely. Thank you, sir. Now it's time to introduce today's speaker, Dr. K.V. Kadambari ma'am from NIT Warangal. Dr. K.V. Kadambari ma'am has done MTech from Andhra University and her PhD from Jawaharlal Nehru University, Delhi in the field of computer science. She is currently working as assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at NIT Warangal. Her interests are neuroscience, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. Her current research works include classification and prediction of Parkinson's disease using robust machine learning algorithms, detecting emotional states among students using social signals, etc. She has many papers in international journals and an Australian patent to her credit. Now I request Dr. Kadambari ma'am to take over the session.
Thank you so much, Bharti ma'am. And before starting, I would like to thank all the organizers and as well as the University Vice Chancellor, the Registrar, the Principal, everyone for giving me this opportunity. So without any further delay, can I start my session now, Bharti ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll share my screen then.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So in this particular session, I'll be discussing about artificial intelligence because that's the area of my interest in the sense that I work in the area of machine learning basically and apply or develop new algorithms that can be used for medical applications, okay, for different medical applications and apps as well. So, excuse me. So, first of all, what I'll do is I'll discuss what exactly is artificial intelligence and how are these big words like machine learning, computer vision, etc. How they are related to AI. Okay, so let's first of all discuss where AI is actually used. Normally, there are applications in day-to-day life where we can find AI, but we don't really notice them. Okay, some of the applications happen to be this self-driving cars, flying drones, voice recognition apps like Siri or Google Assistant. Okay, as well as you have games also, online games as well, like chess playing games, Ludo, etc. So all these are applications where artificial intelligence is used. Okay, so now coming to what exactly is this artificial intelligence? It is something which is a mixture of so many different technologies. Basically, what it does is that it gives the ability to machines, okay, to think and process information on their own. All right. So unlike these regular computer programs which we write like C++ programs, okay, where programmer writes a particular instruction and the program executes that instruction. That's not what is done in AI. Okay, here what happens is that we design some algorithms, okay, and we feed some data to it, to the algorithm, okay, and the program actually tries to work out on that data. So the ability of machines to think and learn on their own is actually called as artificial intelligence. So, and in other words, to put it simply, they say that artificial intelligence is the simulation of human intelligence, which like for example, if you want machines to process human intelligence, okay, so that is what we call as artificial intelligence. Okay, so these machines are nothing but computer programs, and the processes that are included are self-learning, reasoning, and self-correction. So like for example, if you have a weather prediction system, okay, so for a weather prediction system, you will be taking the inputs like the humidity, the temperature outside, the temperature inside the room. Okay, so there are different factors that you take as input. Okay, so once you take all these things as input, then the next thing that you need to do is you need to process all the inputs, okay, and then give the average temperature, okay, for the entire day. Okay, so this particular giving, calculating all the inputs and then giving out the temperature for the entire day is part of artificial intelligence. Okay, so you're analyzing the data and then giving out the information. So coming to the intelligence part, if you notice in this particular diagram, there are different aspects of intelligence. One is this reasoning part, the other one is learning, then perception, problem solving, and linguistic intelligence. Linguistic intelligence basically deals with this voice recognition apps. Okay. So let's see how these 5 things encompass intelligence and how they are converted into artificial intelligence. So some of the AI technologies that you might have heard are machine learning, computer vision, natural language processing, and deep learning neural networks. I mean, these are the big words that people are using nowadays, and people are working in these areas as well. I would like to give you one simple example, and then I'll discuss how these things are actually connected to AI. Okay, so I'll give you the difference between what exactly is machine learning, computer vision, okay, and how is machine learning connected, machine learning, computer vision connected to AI. Okay, so before going into the basic definitions of ML, CV, and AI, I would like to show you one video. Okay, so let's have a look at this video, and please tell me if it is playing. I'll start my video now, and just let me know if it's not playing in between. So this is an example of a self-driving car. Okay, you give the input destination as the input, and it will decide the path or decide the route. And if you notice in this particular video, wherever there is a signal light stops. Okay, so it has that ability to sense the signals and then stop, apply the brakes of the car. Is the video visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So wherever there is a turn, the steering wheel is also turning automatically. And whenever a brake needs to be applied, that time also the brake is being applied. If you notice, the driver is not at all touching the steering wheel, nor are his feet touching the accelerator or the brakes or the clutch, nothing whatsoever. The entire driving is done by the computer itself. Okay, so now the reason why I'm focusing on this particular example is because I want to tell you the basic difference between what exactly is machine learning and what exactly is artificial intelligence. Okay, so let's first of all talk about what is exactly machine learning. In this particular video, we have noticed one thing, that the machine is driving the car. That means we have written a program. Okay, we have designed a program which will make the car to drive on its own. Okay, so how do we write this particular program? Means how do we go about designing such kind of machine? So what we need to do here is that when we first design such kind of a program or an algorithm to do such task, we first need to train it. Okay, we need to train a program, okay, to do this particular task. Now, what exactly is training? Training, in other words, is also called as learning. Okay, so when that's the reason why we have the term machine learning actually. Okay, so what exactly do we mean by learning in this self-driving car is that when what we do is in the beginning, before designing the self-driving car, okay, so at the beginning itself, before designing such kind of cars, what we do is that we make a driver sit in the car. Okay, the next thing that we do is that we take the recording of how the driver is driving. That means when does he apply the brakes, okay, and when the turn comes, suppose if he has to turn in the left direction, so how, in which direction does he turn the steering wheel? All right, and if he wants to go in faster speed, then when does he press the accelerator? Okay, so such kind of things. And at the same time, we also record the routes. That means if there are any cars next to our car, okay, then how does the driver find his way, okay, or how does he cross the other cars? So all these things are actually recorded. Okay, and next what we do is that we write a program based on this recording. That means when we have to turn the car on the left, based on the route, if we have to turn the car on the left, in the left direction, then we will write a program in order to turn the steering wheel in the left direction. Okay, and when we have to press the brakes when a signal comes or when an obstacle comes, so we will be writing a program so that the sensor actually senses the brakes and presses them automatically. So this is the way in which we are writing the program for this self-driving. Okay. So this particular program is an example for machine learning. Okay, it is an example for machine learning where the computer is learning how to drive a car on its own. Okay, so we have written a program to take the turns, respond to the sensors, etc., and then drive on its own. Okay, so this is the machine learning part. Now, what is artificial intelligence here? So artificial intelligence is where the sensing of signals, okay, the sensing of road turns, okay, that is when you turn left or right, the steering also has to turn left or right, that is the communication between the steering and the sensors, pressing the accelerator, okay, and pressing the horn of the car, okay, whenever there is any obstacle in between, or when there is a car in front of us. So all these together, I mean, including the driving part, including the computer program for driving, okay, all these together, wires, sensors, signals, everything together, they fall under the umbrella of AI. Okay, so AI is nothing but a bigger umbrella or a bigger picture under which machine learning happens to be a subset. Okay, so I hope this is clear. So machine learning, to put it in one word, it works on data sets, okay, in order to perform some tasks on its own. These tasks may be prediction, like for example, weather prediction, stock market prediction, or otherwise a classification task, like for example, if I want to what they call classify between a pen and a marker, then I can write a program in order to do that. So other one is I want to optimize in the sense I want to find the shortest route from Vijayawada to Machilipatnam. So that route also can be found using machine learning algorithms. Okay, so this is what machine learning applications are capable of doing. All right. So machine learning happens to be the subset of AI. AI is a bigger picture. And the other aspect of or technology under AI is computer vision. So sorry, there was a problem, I guess, from my end.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Sorry. So where was I? I was talking about computer vision. So computer vision, basically what it tries to do is it tries to extract information from images. Okay. So if you observe in this particular image, okay, can any of you give me the description what is happening in this particular image on the screen? Any of you who could unmute and tell me? What exactly is happening in this image? You can tell me in Telugu also if you guys are comfortable. Ma'am, is my voice audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If anyone wants to tell in Telugu, you can. Please raise your hand so that we can allow you.
I just want you guys to describe what is happening in this particular image.
It seems there's a car that actually crossed the line, if you see in the front.
Could you please repeat yourself? My mic was a little bit low. I couldn't hear you.
Actually, I see a car in the front that actually crossed the line. So it
Okay.
it came
Okay.
onto the right side.
Uh-huh.
Maybe the automated system is taking some action on that.
Mm-hmm.
And second thing is the hand of the driver. It
Mm-hmm.
is not on the steering wheel. It's actually he may be trying to turn on the wind wiper or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a very good observation. That's a very keen observation, actually, detailed form. But then our computers are not capable, I mean, they are not good enough to describe as much as you have described it. They would actually do some top job in the sense they would actually pick up the objects from this particular image. So the objects in this image are the trees, the road, the cars, okay, and the person's hands, etc. So based on these particular objects, what computer vision does is it tries to analyze, connect these objects together and put it into the sentence form. So what we can say here is that the computer vision algorithm, it will tell you that a person is driving a car, okay, or otherwise it will tell you there are a fleet of cars on the road. So that at the maximum the computer can do that. So this particular information extraction by detecting the objects inside the particular image is called as computer vision. Okay, and this part is also under artificial intelligence. And then the other aspect of AI is natural language processing. Natural language processing is like your Google Translator, detecting voices, okay, voice recognition systems, converting what they call text into images. So all these are natural language applications. Okay, deep learning, neural networks, etc. They are part of machine learning. Sorry. So machine learning, under machine learning itself, your deep learning comes into picture. So I mean, I won't be talking much about it now because my focus is on AI. Okay, so I hope that now you have understood the basic difference between what is AI and what is machine learning. Machine learning is a subset of AI, okay, where a program is written to learn on its own, to work on its own, and take decisions on its own. So let's now come into the actual part of the lecture. So these are the applications that I will be discussing in today's lecture. One is Google predictive search. What are the algorithms used in this? The other one is online advertisements. Then what is the AI behind Gmail? Then how are chatbots designed? And the other one is Amazon Echo Dot. And there is one more called as the Ola, which we must have used many a times. So what does AI application does Ola use? So all these I'll be talking in today's lecture. So let me start off with this Google predictive searches. Okay. So over the years, actually, Google has developed its search engine, developed in the sense it has upgraded it, it has made it more better and better by the day. Okay. Now the latest thing is that when you begin typing a search term, the Google tries to complete the search for you. Okay. So like for example, when I type this word new, automatically the rest of the words like new movies, new song, news in Hindi, etc. All these words will be automatically filled in the search bar. Okay, so these are nothing but recommendations made for you, and these recommendations are made using this AI. Okay, so these predictive searches are based on data that Google collects from you. Means in the sense when you search something, okay, that data will be stored by Google. All right. So the other things that Google stores is your location, your age, and other personal details like whether you're a female, male, whether you're young, old, what are your preferences? Do you like to read books? Do you like to read, do you like to watch movies? So all these personal details Google stores. So whenever you type something, one word inside the search engine, automatically it extracts the information it has stored on you, about you, and then it tries to give you the predictive searches options. Okay. So this particular predictive searches is done using the AI. So AI in the sense machine learning, obviously. So let's see what are the algorithms used behind it. So Google's search engines, as I told you, they evolved over time by studying the linguistics used in the searches. Its AI learns from results and adapts over time. That means it modifies over time to give better results to the users. Okay. So the main objective of Google's algorithm, search algorithm, is to deliver the best possible results to the user. For this, Google uses something called as rank brain. Okay, rank brain is the algorithm behind which, is the backend algorithm which Google search engine uses. Okay, using this rank brain algorithm, it tries to give you the best results. Okay, so the rank brain algorithm, it gives you the best results for the search string that you're typing in the engine. okay, search engine. So to put it simply, the rank brain is an artificial intelligence system which tries to determine the quality of the content, okay, that matches best to the user's query. So like for example, if you type who is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, okay, so what Google does is it gives you the best answer option, okay, and then it will give you, when you click on the best answer option, automatically the best result will be opening, which includes the photograph of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, okay, and other details like when he was born, where he was born, etc., and what were his achievements, etc. So all these things from the best link, it will give you the information, and this best link is selected using the rank brain algorithm. Okay, so rank brain is a computer program that's used to sort billions of pages. Okay, it is used to sort billions of pages and find the ones which are most relevant for the particular queries. Okay, and the next is that this rank brain comes under another algorithm called the hummingbird algorithm. So, as I was telling you, the Google search engine has been developed over the years, and the different names and different algorithms have been developed under this search engine algorithm. So the overall search engine algorithm is called as the hummingbird. Okay, why hummingbird? Because earlier when we used to type in the Google search engine, while we used to type a set of strings, like strings of words. Okay, we used to type some set of strings and then it used to give us output also as string of words only, right? But now what is happening is that you can even input an image also. Okay, you can even input an image also, and you can get a description of the image. This is the like converting the string into images, the strings into images, strings into words. So the strings, it rhymes with the strings of a guitar. That is the reason why we have got the word as hummingbird. Okay, so hummingbird is the basic algorithm under which rank brain is one of them, is the newest one, which gives you the best results. Apart from rank brain, you also have the basic algorithm called as the page rank. Page rank actually gives ranking to the pages. Okay, it gives ranking to the pages in the sense, can any of you tell me how does Google earn its money? How does Google earn its revenue?
By ads.
Earlier we didn't have ads actually.
By sharing the data what they have.
It actually sells the data to third parties or business owners based on our searching.
That is now, right? Earlier, how did it earn? Earlier it was just a search engine, right?
Even search engine, it actually saves our search data in the form of cookies, and it has some of our personal data. It actually basically sells our personal data. I think it's been there since beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, ranking by giving priority for the pages to rank, and they will cost the page owners.
Okay. If they cost the page owners, that means are the page owners, that is the website owners, paying them money to put their pages?
Yeah, they are willing to get them in the top ranking of the searching of work.
Exactly. This is called as bidding. It is called as bidding. Okay. So what first form of earning Google did was this itself. Like in order to give earn money, okay, it had this idea of bidding the web pages. Like more the bid you do, the higher your rank will be. So that is how this page ranking had come into picture. But then over the years, what they did was, like, apart from bidding, they also included this rank brain, to say that we'll give you the best results in this ranks also, where ranking of the pages will give you the best results, best among them. Okay, so that is how this page ranking has been given based on the bidding values of the websites. Then the other part of this hummingbird algorithm is the signals. Okay, signals are basically used for telling the relevance of the content. Okay, giving the relevance of the content. So for example, if you're typing something and you want to find the next relevant word in that sentence, so signal is basically used for getting that particular word. Okay, so this is about your rank brain algorithm, the hummingbird, which is the overall search algorithm. And then page ranks are given to the website. Signals are basically used for getting the exact words and exact information related to your search query. Okay, now if this is about your Google predictive searches, let us focus now on the next part, next application, which is online advertisements. So recently, since past couple of years, we have been observing these online advertisements. So much so that if your smartphone is connected continuously to internet, okay, your service provider, your network service provider is also recording your voice and analyzing your voice if it has some parts, like where you want to, where you're talking about some advertisements about some saris or some jewelry, etc. So even that voice, your recordings are also analyzed. What, not just only what you type, even your voice is also analyzed. So all these are related to your online advertisements. So this online advertisements are one of the biggest applications of AI. Okay, that is how they use it. They use AI to track user statistics. Okay, user statistics, and so suppose say that I have a habit of buying watches. So what happens is that I go to Amazon app, I click on what are the latest watches, latest brands, etc. And when I open Facebook, what Facebook does is it gives me some recommendations. It pops up some advertisements in my page and shows me different brands of watches, etc. So this is how it is connected, how AI is being used by different companies. Like, and like one of you has just now said it, that Google sells our information to different companies. Yes, that is absolutely right. Not just only Google, there are many other companies which use our information and sell those to other companies for advertising. Okay, so what happens here is that for achieving or to get appropriate ads, so organizations, they analyze the user data, like for example where they are demographically present. Like when we open Google, it says allow access to the location, allow or don't allow, it asks like that. So such kind of things are asked, and based on that you will be getting the recommendations. Okay, so for example, Instagram, what it does is it monitors search preferences and user engagement, okay, of its users. However, Instagram, it has a restriction on the amount of data advertisers can take. Okay, so it doesn't give all the data related to the user. So look at this particular example here. In this picture, you can notice these two red boxes, okay, which are displayed based on your search history. So my search history was like merge contents of two files into a third file. So for that, I'm trying to like, if I'm trying to prepare for a job interview, then I'm getting this applied course, and then you have better tools for merging the contents of a file. So this is how your advertisements appear based on what you have typed. So this is about one simple example. So how do companies actually advertise? So let's talk about this Facebook AI. As one of you just now has said that social networking sites, they are selling our confidential data to the corporates, and this data is being used to analyze our behavior, analyze our purchases, etc., and then give their advertisements to us. Okay. Then coming to these video apps like Netflix, Amazon, etc. So before talking about Netflix, Amazon, I just want to ask you one question, which was asked long back. Uh, who do you think, or what do you think is the competitor of Netflix? Can any of you guys tell me? Uh, like the company owner of Netflix said that this is the competition for Netflix. What do you think it is?
YouTube.
YouTube, okay. And any other guesses? Any other answers?
Facebook can be there.
Facebook, okay.
Also,
Sorry?
Amazon.
Amazon, okay, good.
Whole Google products itself.
Google products itself, fine. So basically what you're trying to tell me here is that any video streaming app, so that would be the basic competition for Netflix, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I would like to differ here in the sense that the answer given by the owner, CEO of Netflix was sleep. Okay. Sleep is the basic competitor of Netflix, because the reason actually when Netflix was developed is that it intended the user to be hooked onto this app. The main intention was that people get means addicted to this particular app continuously. They watch movies, they watch web series, etc. So the owner actually said, my main competition is sleep. Okay, people shouldn't sleep, they should actually watch Netflix continuously. So that was his idea of putting it. So I mean, every video streaming app has its own limitations. So we can't really say that this particular app is occupying the major share in the market. No, we can't just say that. So every app is a league in itself. So we can't compare these apps like, I mean, this is on the top, this is at the bottom. We can't do that. Okay, so what they try to do is that they try to better themselves. Okay, they try to improve themselves in terms of performance, in terms of their content, so that the user gets addicted to their app, or the user uses their app more often. Okay, so that is the basic idea. So Netflix, how it does this is it gives you user predictions. How does it give you your user predictions is by analyzing your surfing patterns. That is, what type of movies do you watch? Okay, what type of web series do you watch? and how many times you have watched a particular genre movie. Like for example, I like thriller movies, so I watch most of the time I watch thriller. I also like comedy, so I like I mean I get more recommendations of comedy. So such kind of movies, like if I say if I have watched Pursuit of Happiness, so Netflix will say, since you have watched Pursuit of Happiness, similar movies related to this are, it will give me some options, different movie options which are similar to that genre of movies. Okay, so and the other thing how it analyzes is how you watch that movie. Are you fast forwarding it, or are you rewinding it, or are you watching at a normal pace? So this is how Netflix will advertise its movies. Okay, then movies or web series, that is. And then coming to the other company, IBM Watson. So IBM Watson, it uses signals for advertising. Signals, I told you, it tries to search for the most relevant words, keywords. Okay, so based on those keywords, it will give you the exact advertisement, or the exact information. So this is the way in which your companies are advertising nowadays. Now let's look at the next application, which is AI in Gmail. So Gmail uses Google AI for mainly three purposes. One is email filtering, other one is smart replies, and the next one is reminders. So email filtering, if you must have noticed nowadays Google is filtering all your emails into different categories. Some of the categories are primary, social, promotions, updates, etc., spam, etc. So primary is where you have all the important emails falling. Social means social networking sites emails. Okay, so Google uses AI to ensure that all your email is landing into its necessary boxes. Okay, necessary in categories. Okay, so this is the way in which Google uses AI to authenticate the or segregate the emails. Then smart replies. So smart replies in the sense, when you are typing something, automatically the rest of the sentence will be completed by Google, right? So this is called as a smart reply option. They are actually tailored to the content of each mail. So they analyze each and every word, what is written in the email, and then give you the corresponding response. Okay, and then give you the appropriate response. So suppose my student has sent me some code, and the student says, dear madam, I am hereby sending you the code, please verify it. So what the Google AI does is that it reads that particular content, okay, and sees that, okay, this is information receiving. So it automatically gives us reply options. That is, it will give an option like, okay, I received it, thanks. Then other one will say, okay, I got it. So like this, it gives you different reply options. I just have to click on one button and automatically it will be pasted in the email as a reply. Okay, so this is the way in which smart replies work. And this smart replies, they work on the concept of natural language processing, where we are actually processing each and every word, understanding what it means, and then giving the appropriate reply. So that's the reason why I told you is natural language processing happens to be part of it. Okay, so this is about smart replies. Then coming to reminders, Gmail's nudging feature, there is a feature called as nudging. Okay, it reminds you to follow up on some emails. Like for example, if you have ignored or forgotten some emails, to reply to some emails, this nudging feature will remind you. So if you notice here, this particular email, Heidi, okay, it was received 3 days ago. Do you want to reply? It's asking you, reply question mark. So this feature is done using the nudging concept. So using AI, Gmail, it tries to attempt to determine which emails require a response. Okay, I mean every email doesn't require a response, right? So which ones require, which ones don't require. So the ones which require response, they are highlighted. Okay, and then Google reminds you that you need to reply to this particular email. Okay, so this is the way in which reminders work. Then coming to the next application, this is about chatbots. So chatbots recognize words and phrases. This is also based upon natural language processing. Okay, and then give you the useful content. All right. And nowadays, they are so efficient. Like for example, Big Basket. Big Basket is an app where you can order grocery online. Okay. So, like for example, if I order my grocery from Big Baskets itself. So if I don't get a product, if my product is bad and I want to replace it, I chat with this chatbot. So the chatbot is so intelligent that it gives me reply as if a normal person is talking to me. Okay, as if some normal human being is talking to me. That's the way in which this chatbot is designed. But there are some other chatbots, like for example, Amazon or credit card chatbots. They don't really work that well. They really need to update themselves. But there are some which attempt to mimic the natural language. Okay, and they work or they converse as if a human being is conversing with us. And if you look at this particular example, this is an example where you can see chatbot is working. So it says, "Hi Owen, welcome to the Sobo Stylist Booking Bot demo." And then which service would you like to book? The person types cut and blow dry, 50 pounds. So then it asks you which day and gives you the recommendations of the days. And then the person selects Tuesday 10 Jan, and then it asks what time, then gives you all the options of the time. So the person selects 6 p.m. Okay, then it says, "Thanks, Owen. You are booked in for hair cut and blow dry 50 pounds at 6 p.m. on Tuesday 10 January. I will send you a reminder here the day before." Okay, so this is how your chatbots work. Then coming to Amazon Echo Dot. So Echo Dot is a voice controlled smart speaker. Before talking to this smart speaker, you need to actually use the word Alexa. Okay. So Alexa is the name of the software. Okay. Alexa is the name of the software, which is used on all the Amazon Echo devices. Okay. So you need to say, "Alexa, play this particular music. Alexa, play that particular nursery rhyme." So, I mean, I use Alexa for playing rhymes for my niece. So that's how Alexa works. But unfortunately, there is a problem with Alexa that it can't hand over information from one device to the other device. So that's what it's lacking behind, in the sense I can't connect multiple devices to this Amazon Echo device all at a time. Okay. So one device is not aware of another device in the same house. So I need to configure all the time. Whenever I change the device. And not just only playing music or playing some other things, it can also be used as a reminder, setting alarms. And it can be used for controlling other smart devices in the house, like coffee maker, switching on the lights, switching on the AC, etc. Everything Alexa is able to do. Okay, and I'll show you one demo here of how this Alexa works. So this is the way in which Alexa answers users' questions. Okay, so this device is called as Amazon Echo Dot. Okay, then there are other devices also cylindrical in shape, long and cylindrical in shape. Those are Amazon Echo Plus, etc. So this is about how Alexa uses AI. And as I was telling you earlier, this is also based on natural language translation and processing. So now coming to the last application of the day, this is Ola real-time ride monitoring. Okay, so the ride hailing company Ola, okay, it recently came out with the AI-enabled safety measure, which is called as Guardian. Okay, so Guardian is actually used in 17 cities across India and Australia. What this does is it is an AI-enabled feature. It uses real-time data from rides to automatically detect irregular trip activities. So if there is any, diversion from the route, and if the driver is going in the wrong route or is taking a longer time to reach the destination, so all these things are taken care of or observed using the Guardian feature. Okay, so what happens is that it automatically detects irregular trip activity. It also detects prolonged stops. That means beep sound keeps coming. Okay, the smartphone will start, the app will start beeping when you have prolonged stops. And unexpected route deviations also create beeps. Okay, so it alerts the user. So these alerts are flagged off in real time in Ola's this dedicated 24/7 safety response team. So whenever the alerts are sent to the safety response team, they reach out to the customers and the drivers if to confirm if they are safe or not. And this is the way in which this Guardian project is working. So route deviation, so it is sent. Okay, and here customers can alert the police authorities that their and their loved ones in parallel through the emergency button on the app. So this is the emergency button, and you have the emergency contacts given here. So this Ola Guardian is built on artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities on this Ola app. Okay, which actually continuously learns and evolves. Okay, using multiple data points every single day to improve risk signaling and to give instant solution. Okay, instant support. So these are some of the applications which I wanted to discuss in today's lecture. So with this, I would like to conclude, and I thank you so much once again for giving me this opportunity. Over to you, Bharati madam.
Thank you, ma'am. We are very much thankful to you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation. And also thanks a lot for an incredible, thought-provoking and inspiring lecture on artificial intelligence and its applications, Google prediction, online advertisements, smart replies, reminders, chatbots, Alexa for Amazon Echo devices. Once again, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Now it's time for the second session by Sri T. Anjireddy Garu. Sri Anjireddy Tangirala is a solution architect at Miracle Software Systems, Novi headquarters, USA, where he predominantly works on robotic process automation, machine learning, and artificial intelligence areas. He graduated from Andhra Loyola College with master's degree in computer applications. After graduation, he worked as a lecturer in KPC College as a software engineer in Sintel, Chennai, before moving to the USA in 2014. So now I request Sri Anjireddy Garu to take over the session.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. So this is Anji Reddy. Actually, I've been working with Miracle Software Systems for the past 3 years. My work areas are basically on the robotic process automation and then machine learning. So I thank Krishna University and KBN College for giving me this opportunity of sharing my experiences and then whatever work I do here in Miracle Software and then how I serve my customers in the area of robotic process automation. So most of the, like in the previous session, the madam has given uh, like most of the idea on how artificial intelligence and then machine learning works. And today I'm going to give an application of artificial intelligence and machine learning that is called robotic process automation. So when you see AI as a bigger picture, so machine learning comes into it's a big umbrella. Inside that we have machine learning, and inside that we have something called robotic process automation that actually uses machine learning and also artificial intelligence and also something called natural language processing. That way, it actually serves the business in automating several processes that they have been doing manually day in and day out. So let me share my screen. So when it comes to the automation, whatever the manual process that anybody is doing, if you want to like let the machine do the same thing, that is called automation. For example, um, being consider yourself as a banking employee. You actually go to the office at 9 o'clock, and then every morning you actually log onto a system, and that system in that system you actually extract the loans that are outstanding for that particular day, or maybe credit cards that needs to be issued on that particular day. What you do is you log on to the system and then you get that report and then present it to your higher authority, maybe your manager or somebody else. So what if you are not in the office on a particular day? So maybe during COVID you are not able to come to the office, and then that particular task is only known to you and there is nobody else who can do that. In those situations, in order for us to not to depend on a human person, and then since he is doing the same task day in and day out, that means you go to the office at 9 o'clock and then you do the same thing day in and day out. That means your process is whatever the task you are doing is prone to automation. So those kind of tasks, that is what people are automating in the recent days. So due to the, like in the yesterday's in last year's COVID, because of so many processes done by the people are stopped, that is where the automation has picked up. So in order for an automation to succeed, the only thing required is the process has to be uh, done by the human every day and in the same set of rules. So when it comes to the, like I will briefly explain about the cognitive process automation. In the cognitive process automation, there are two types of automations. One is the robotic process automation that you see on the left side, and the second one is the conversational chatbots. So when you say conversational chatbots, Madam has currently explained as regarding Amazon Alexa's and then IBM Watson and then Microsoft Lewis framework, all of those things. So when you say conversational chatbots, there are two things that we can imagine. The first thing is when you talk to a Vodafone executive or Vodafone call center or some other banking call center, what they ask you is to press on some buttons. If it is for credit cards, press one; for debit cards, press two. All of those things. That is called IVR, interactive voice response. That is one form of the conversation chatbots. When you say conversation, the conversation can be either in the form of the text or in the form of the voice. That means when you talk to the, so in the IVR, there are some IVRs where you actually don't press the buttons. You actually say either yes or no. The bot will ask you for what you are calling for. So if you say, I'm looking for a new credit card application, or I want to see where my bank, where my loan application is, all of those things the bot understands. So how the bot understands is when you talk, it actually takes your voice, it converts that into a text, and then inside that we'll be having something called natural language processor. There are various natural language processors that are in the market by various vendors. So Amazon Alexa is one. From IBM, we have something called Watson. From Microsoft, we have something called Louis, and there are some other NLP processors. What they do is they actually convert the voice into text, and then that text they actually split that into utterances. From the utterances, it'll understand the context. The context means here, uh, for example, if you have called for a new credit card application, new credit card application is your context. And then if you are actually checking for your loan status, the loan status is about context. So that is how your actually voice is converted into a context, and then later it is understood by the machines in the behind the scenes, and then it gets the response from the machines, and it actually converts the text again into the voice, and it speaks to you. So that is how the conversation chatbot works. And on the left side, we have something called robotic process automation. This is nothing to do with conversations. It actually does whatever the task you do on a daily basis on the computer, that is being automated. So like I said in the previous example, so you go to the office early in the morning and then you send a report to your manager. So now if you automate that, um, these automation tools like Automation Anywhere, UiPath, Blue Prism, and Pega, all these automation tools are capable of doing all those things that you're doing on a daily basis. They are actually capable of logging into a virtual machine. They don't need a human person, so they can actually log onto a virtual machine. They can actually launch the any application, maybe a email application or a SAP application or any other ServiceNow application. They're capable of launching those applications. Basing on the search criteria, they can extract the data. They can actually compile a report, and that report they can actually email it by themselves. You don't need any human to email, any human to extract that. So that is whatever the process that is rule based. When I say rule based, there is a rule like you need to open an application, that is a rule. And next thing is you need to extract the data based on a search criteria, that is another rule. And there can be another rule saying whatever the data that is extracted, you need to filter the data. And then fourth rule maybe send it to your manager, maybe manager email ID. So all of these rules, if these rules are done by you on a daily basis, that means those can be automated using all these robotic process automation tools. So if you see here, we have 4 or 5 different robotic process automation tools. All of those are capable of doing automating these rule-based tasks.
Sir, screen is not.
Can you see the screen?
Now it's visible, sir.
It's
But
visible.
image not.
Okay. So to give an introduction of the RPA, it is actually a software robot. So the robots are 2 types. So a physical robot that you see in the assembly section, or something like in car assemblies, and also in the mechanical areas, and also in hospitals and all where they perform the surgeries. All of those are physical robots. When it comes to the software robots, they actually work on the computer. So we actually write a program that actually mimics your actions. For example, I was telling, if you want to send an email to a particular person, what you do is you actually click on a browser. Next thing is you actually give uh, the address in the address bar, right? Gmail.com or Yahoo.com. So that is the second set. That is the second action that you do, and then after that you give your username and password. Third action. So all of these actions are being a human we are doing to send an email. So robotic process automation softwares, they actually exactly mimic whatever you're doing. So if you're clicking somewhere, there's a click action that the software can perform. If you're typing on something in a field, maybe username and password field, it is capable of performing that action, like going to that particular field and then giving the data, username and password. It is capable of doing all of those things. So basically RPA is mimicking human actions. That way, if a person is doing some actions on a daily basis, it actually mimics the same thing. We actually write a code to mimic the same actions. That way we can replace the human with the automated bot. Any questions till now?
If anyone having doubts, please raise your hand. Sir, you can continue. Yes, sir, you can continue.
So for example, in the real world, if a minute of the if a work is done by the human in 15 minutes, the same work can be done by the robot within 5 minutes. So that means it's about 1/3 of the work is being saved, 1/3 of the work hours is being saved. And also, if we replace a human with the automation bot, that means we don't need to pay to the human if he is doing the same task on a daily basis, and if that can be automated. So the large businesses like banks and then insurance companies and then some other organizations, they're actually looking into the areas wherever they can replace a person. For example, one real example I can give is if you want to if you want a new credit card application. Previously what you would do is you actually call to a customer care executive. They actually ask several details like your date of birth and then your address, your credit card, your SSN number, and all of those things, the employment details. Now uh, all of these things are asked by the robot in the form of conversational chatbot, where during the IVR it asks for all your address, SSN number, everything. And behind the scenes there is an RPA that works. It actually logs onto various systems like SAPs and then legacy mainframe applications, and then it gets the data related to you. For example, if you're looking for a new credit card application or new credit card, in order to check if you already have a credit card, what is your credit history, it has to log on to several applications. So robotic process automation software, it actually logs on by itself using your data, gets the data, and then it actually, based on the rules, it by itself it decides whether you are eligible for a new credit card or you are not. So for a human to do the same thing, we need to have that person on call with the customer. He has to spend 15 or 20 minutes on the call, and then they will say we will decide on the application maybe tomorrow or day after. It is like 15 minutes of customer time, and then later in the back office they will work on the application. Maybe it takes a couple of days. Now with the introduction of RPA, with the introduction of conversational chatbots, and then conversational chatbots, the time is reduced to maybe 10 minutes for application, taking the application. And then behind the scenes we don't need a human to, most of the times, for 80% of the times, we don't need to have a human to process their credit card application. So we can replace 100 humans workforce with one or two robots, and then we can keep only 10 persons, where when the robot is not able to handle that situation, it can actually route it to the human. That way human will be taking the decision, and then whatever robot could work, it will work. So that is how the work culture has been changing here across the globe. So now I will explain about what can be automated with RPA. For example, a document capture and data entry. For example, you are actually a real-time example I'll give. So if you are if you have an insurance and then if you are claiming for an insurance, or you met with an accident and then you are claiming the insurance. In order to do that, previously there used to be a human agent who will actually, like when the customer fills an application claim form, they used to take the application and then look through the data and then see if the customer is eligible for the uh, claim. So there are some, like if the customer has met with an accident, he is eligible for 3 lakh rupees, or if he is died, he is eligible for 5 lakh rupees or something. So that eligibility criteria somebody has to manually check. Now what is happening is the claim form, the customer fills it online, and then that data actually in the backend, that is, if that is filled by the customer, that will be converted into a PDF. And then those PDF data, RPA software using OCR technology, it actually gets the data, extracts the data, and it goes to the databases by itself, and then it gets the the insurance policy data saying what is the customer's eligibility based on the type of accident, and then based on the type of incident. It actually goes and gets the eligibility, and then using various rules, it actually decides if the customer is eligible for the claim, or if he is not eligible for the claim. That also done automatically. So for the those kind of systems are eligible for automation. There are some other systems like general ledger coding, and then payment systems. Like I said, the claim payment, it can be, the checks can be automatically issued by the robots. We don't need a human to actually type in something or issue a checks. And then the document review and approvals. Again, in the claims processing, I was telling, if the whatever the customer has submitted, they will be validating, the robot will be validating if whatever the social security number entered by the customer is right, or if he is eligible for a claim amount, or his address is right, or whatever claim he is trying to apply for is right. So all of those document review tasks are being done by the robotic process softwares, that is the bots, the software bots. And then the next one is process management and controls. For example, if in your organization you have 100 servers, and then you want to see any server is down intermittently, so we, like, in order to do that, we need to have a human or multiple humans, maybe 10 people or 20 people, constantly checking or pinging that servers. So now with the introduction of robotic process automation, we don't need to have all those 10 members. We can actually write a automatic software, RPA software, that actually intermittently every half an hour it pings all the 100 machines. If some machine is not getting the response, it actually gets that error report and then gives it to somebody, the network executive. That way they'll take an action. So now with a literally a real-time example where we have replaced 10 people with one robot, that is process management and process management and controlling. And then next thing is exception processing, and some other areas we can actually use RPA. The RPA software is able to do all of these things. Like it can automate communications. The third point that I am explaining, the automate communication means, like I was telling in the previous example, it actually pings all the servers by itself. If there is a server that is down, that is not accessible, it can actually compose the message, the error message, into an email. It can send it to somebody. It can send it to the authorized person or the stakeholder so that they can take an action. So that communication is being automated using RPA. And then there is another way of, this is outgoing emails, and the incoming emails, there could be some maybe I was talking about the claims processing. So the customer may send his data in an email format where the RPA software can read the email. It can actually read what is the data present in the attachment. It can open the attachment by itself and then read through the PDF using their OCR technology or regular expression technology or whatever. So using all of those, it can automate the communications. And next thing is it can provide the reminders. For example, um, if I'll go to the previous example of monitoring the servers. If the server is not reachable, then there is no action taken by somebody even after half an hour. So it actually checks if the status is same since half an hour. Then it can actually send the reminders. When do you mean when you mean sending the reminders? It can actually send the SMS messages. It can actually call the person using some third-party APIs. We have something called Twilio, that is artificial intelligence company. So they actually provide the means of sending the text messages or sending calling um, uh, calling the stakeholders. We have actually built an app where we actually monitor some of the ERP systems like SAP and then PeopleSoft, Workday, all of these three ERP systems. What the bot does is it actually every half an hour it logs onto all these three different ERP systems. If any one of that is down, there is a stakeholder who needs to take care of that downtime. It actually we actually have the phone number and then email ID uh, regarding like related to the particular person. So what the bot does is as soon as it sees this the server is down or application is down, it calls to the person, it texts to the person. So that is what is providing reminders. And then the RPA software is capable of doing the data entry. So if you are being a human, if you are actually going through or extracting data from a PDF or looking into the PDF and then typing the data in an application, RPA software is very easily can do the same thing. So all it needs is it needs an Adobe reader and the PDF. That way we actually train the robot to look for the data in a particular place. That way once you train, from the next time it actually goes to the exact position and then gets the data, enters the data into whatever the application that we like. And the next thing is ask for an expert input for review or approval. So I was telling in the previous example, the claims processing. If the robot is not able to do the claim processing, it can actually route it to the human. So that means it can actually send an email to the human or manager after his review and approval. The same email response it actually takes, and based on the approval, it can actually go ahead and then um, uh, process the claim. So this is called attended bot. So unattended means there are two types of RPA bots, attended and unattended. Attended means um, uh, it actually stops after performing some actions. For example, it is it is issuing checks, automatically issuing checks or automatically crediting money into the person's accounts. It has seen one account, one particular transaction where they are actually crediting $1 million, which is high in most of the cases. In those cases, it actually can route that to a human for an approval. As soon as he approves, it can actually come back and then perform the remaining action. That is called attended. If it is unattended, that means it doesn't talk to any human. It does its task. When there is an exception, it actually sends an email to the stakeholder. It doesn't wait for the person to respond. So that is unattended bot. So all these things the robot can do. So it can actually communicate to the users. It can actually perform the data entries. It can actually collect the data from various applications, compile a report in an Excel format or some other format, and then send it to the stakeholder. And then if it is an attended bot, it can actually ask the human for approval or something, and then once it is approved, it can actually come back and then perform the remaining actions. All of these things the robotic assistants or robotic process automation softwares can do. Any questions till now? Okay. When you say automated data entry, maybe, for example, maybe the customer is using a SAP system or PeopleSoft system or some other system as their enterprise ERP application. So in order for them to so not all the invoices are electronically generated. When I say electronically generated, that means some customers may send the invoices in an email format. Some customers may send the invoices in a paper format. That means they actually mail. That means they send the invoices in the post, or whatever the invoices that are sent in the post, we need to scan, and then somebody sitting on the system, they have to go through that, copy or see whatever is there, and then type into SAP or other ERP systems. Now, with the automated data entry, as soon as it is scanned, after the scanning part is only taken care by the human. Once it is scanned, we'll automate the entire system, where the automated data will go to an email, and then the RPA software, it actually reads the emails, open the PDF, gets the data, and then enters into actually SAP system or some other ERP system. So the automated data entry is taken care or happens in all of these areas, like invoice processing, and then purchase requests, and then purchase orders, documents and email, and then double entry. All of these areas we can automate the data entry. You can start the RPA in several areas, like I was talking. In the customer service is the first area where most of the automation is happening. That means for a credit card to approve, we don't need to have a customer care representative, or for an insurance claim to happen, we don't need a customer care executive. All of these persons are being replaced by RPA bots and then chatbots, with a combination of RPA and chatbots. That way, we don't need to have a human sitting in a call center, receiving calls, getting the data, and then telling whether our credit card application is processed, or our loan is processed, or our vehicle loan is approved, or our insurance claim is processed, or in a hospital whether a patient billing is already done, insurance claim is already done. All of these things, we don't need to have a customer care representative. We can have a IVR, interactive voice response bot, or a conversational chat bot. It actually speaks to the people, and then only if it is required. That means if that is not able to done by the human, not able to done by the bot, that is when it actually routes, the bot itself routes it to the human. There will be a reduced workforce. Rather than having 1,000 customer care representatives, we will be having only 100. So 900 will be replaced by the bots. These 100 people will be taken care. They will be taking care the requests that are not handled, that cannot be handled by the humans. Sorry, robots. So when you say robots is not handling, what happens is, whatever the requests that are coming to the customer care representative, they will actually analyze those requests and then try to backfeed or improve their RPA software or conversation chatbot software. That way, we are even reducing those remaining 100 people into 10 or 20, and automating most of the part. That is what is happening mostly in the US. So previously, when I used to call to a banking customer care, there used to be humans who will be picking the call and then answering all our queries. Now it is the first, when I dial the customer care, the first person or the first one to receive the call is a robot. It actually speaks as if it is a human. In most of the times, we can't identify the difference between a human and the robot because the voice is exactly similar, almost like similar, and then it actually acts as if it is typing. There would be keyboard clicks and then mouse clicks just to mimic the human environment. There would be, you can actually listen to, you can actually hear that keyboard and mouse clicks. That way we are under assumption that we are talking to a real human, but it is a robot who is actually talking to us. It actually understands, it actually speaks as if it is a human in clear English, and it understands when we say something, when we ask some question, it clearly understands and then talks to us as if it is a human. So that is what the revolution is happening in the customer care service because of this automation of with NLPs, conversational chatbots, and then RPS. Next area is operations and then human resources. So in the human resources area also, the HR area also, we have been seeing even to recruit the, even to filter the candidates' resumes. Previously, there used to be humans sitting and then vetting all those resumes. Now we have RPAs and then machine learning came into picture. They are actually analyzing analyzing the people's resumes. They will be picking the right resume and giving it to the human user. And then even in the purchasing and then operations, we have been seeing lot of introduction of the RPAs and then chatbots and other bots. This is one of the example how actually when a human is replaced with the robot, what is the cost savings in a accounting area. So when you see here, accounting or entire the accounting for an organization is automated. Before that, for each and every process, it used to cost them $22 uh, uh, for a simple accounting process, and then it used to take 16 days to complete the process. So with the introduction of the automation, the $22 cost is reduced to $5, and then the time also reduced to 6 days instead of 16 days. That means we are saving time and then cost, and then we are able to actually give more discounts to the customers. This is one of the very good example where an automation like kind of RPA or a chatbot, when you're introduced to a business model or business process, it is actually reducing the cost and it is actually benefiting the customers. So being a skilled people, so going forward, like the way we work is completely changing. Previously, we used to work with humans. Now, humans, and then we need to depend. We used to depend on some person to do the task. Now it is not the case. Most of the things that are done by the humans are being replaced by the bots. That way, if the task has to be completed, this is called compliance and securities. So when I say compliance, if a task has to be completed on by afternoon, so if there is a human, he may have so many dependencies. He may fall sick, or he may actually be on leave, or he may not be working for 4 or 5 days, or he may not be doing it efficiently. So if we replace the human with robot, that means robot doesn't get sick, robot doesn't get tired, and then robot does whatever we ask them to do. For example, if we are asking a robot uh, to actually uh, uh, report a transaction that is over $1 million, robot is exactly does that. So it doesn't cheat, or it doesn't actually, there is a transparency. in what the robot does. It actually does whatever we ask it to do on time, without falling sick, 365 days an year. So that is why when these kinds of processes, if they can be automated, organizations are doing an automation and then saving the cost. The first thing is saving the cost, and then they have improved compliance, and the third thing is security. So robots, they doesn't steal the data. Maybe if you have a human person there, he can actually steal your credit card data, or he can steal your social security number, or he can do some manipulation, but robot doesn't do that. So that is where in all those areas, for improved compliance, improved security, improved process efficiency, to do all these factors, considering all these factors, most of the processes are which are rule based are being replaced by robots. I'll skip this slide. So when I see the robot development life cycle, it starts with the process selection. When I say process selection, I have been telling, if a process is done by the human in the same manner on a daily basis every day, that is the process that we need to that can be automated. And while selecting the process, we need to consider several factors, like if you automate that particular process, what is the return we are getting. So if that task is done by 10 persons, 7 days a week, 8 hours every day, similar kind of process, if that can be done by a robot, the human 7-day work, if a robot can do that in a day, then there's a lot of return on investment. That means a 7 people's pay is saved, and then since the robot is working, their pay is a profit for the organization. That is where they actually say return on investment is the first factor where for any RPA process selection. And then process documentation, solution design, bot development, unit testing, workflow testing, and then bot deployment, UAT, and then schedule and maintenance. All of these are similar to your any software development, but uh, like the workflow testing and then automation, UAT, process selection, return on investment are something which are on like which are specially you will see in the RPA and automation area. So when the return on investment is high, that is the process they target for the automation, because they can save more. And then and the not the ROI. So besides ROI, if a process is having very sensitive data, that is when actually they start automating those processes. Like I was telling, if a person is handling only credit card data, we actually replace that person with a robot. That way, we don't expose customers' credit card data or sensitive data to any humans. If a person is dealing with only social security numbers or Aadhaar card numbers or something, we actually replace that person with a robot, that process with a robot. That way, the security is maintained there. So that is how the processes are selected and then automated. These are all best practices and benefits of RPA. Is uh, most of the process in the current days of work, whatever is happening in either an insurance company or a healthcare company or a banking, almost like 60% of the work can be automated. Organizations have already started about 3 or 4 years ago to automate most of the things. Now, by 2025, most of their process will be automated, and then you see a significant change in the way we work. We work with the robots, we talk to the robots, we actually get the work done by the robots. Either it is RPA, robotic process bots, or machine learning based bots, AI based bots, or conversational chat bots. most of the workforce will be replaced by automation. And whoever is skilled, they will actually keep their job. Whoever is not skilled, they needs to be upskilled and then repositioned into a different area, and then start working with the robots, working with the software robots, especially in the process areas. And then they need to, whoever is doing the same task, like illogical task, that I would say. Illogical means there is no special logic that they apply. They do the same task every day. They only have 4 or 5 rules or 10 rules, like log on to the browser, log on to the SAP, log on to other application, use the criteria, get the data and give it to your manager, or do some a minimal data validation and then create reports. All of these will be definitely automated. It is happening. It is actually, I am seeing, and being an architect, I'm actually solutionizing all of these systems. In my 3 years of automation career, I have I have implemented almost like 200 bots, where for each bot there are like 4 to 5 people are replaced. So now you can see how um, uh, the scale of automation and then the scale of people needed for upskill. I would say, I don't say people losing jobs. The need of people to upskill. If you don't have any skill, um, like besides that routine work, that is the time you need to upskill. And then if you're upskilling, you will actually stay ahead, and then stay ahead with the all these automation changes. The disadvantages of RPA is like it is limited to speed of application. All of these are kind of little irrelevant to you. These are all actually covered in the previous session. And then machine learning is also covered in the previous session. I would like to give one simple example for machine learning, how the machine learns. We have been implementing a small automation using machine learning. Actually, what the machine learning model we are creating is, it has to extract the data from unstructured PDFs. So here is a PDF where the customer is asked us to extract this data of this data on the left side, and then the totals on the right side. When you see here, the column name is something called total, and then when you see here also total. There are some other PDFs where the data is not this. Here the column is not in the total. It is maybe YTD, year to date total, or accumulated totals, or something like that. Here the columns are little different, and then in some PDFs we would have only 2 rows rather than having the 12 rows. What the machine learning model does is, actually we have trained the model in such a way that it extracts the text and then the total amount, just the total amount. So we have trained almost like 30 to 40 different PDFs. After that, the machine learning model tries to understand it. It actually understood what we are trying to extract from the PDFs. So always it actually gave the exact result of, it actually extracted only the text on the left side, and then totals on the right side. So that is how, as like machine learning, it actually learns by the input that you give. So that is called supervised learning. So when we do the supervised learning and then train the model, after that there is something called unsupervised learning. It learns by itself and then tries to get the data or extract the data. This is one of the business application where RPA with a combination of machine learning is being done in the RPA area, especially in Miracle. So with this, I'll end the session. Before I end the session, I request you, if you have any questions, you can actually talk to me, or raise all your questions, whatever you have. And from what I see is especially there is a lot of attrition in RPA resources. Recently, we are finding very difficult for to get right people. Um, that means there is a lot of demand in the market for especially RPA and automation, because with the COVID, there are so many people who actually lost their lives, and then there are so many people who fell sick. Organizations started to realize not to depend on a person to perform any critical task. That is where whatever is being done, which is business critical, they want to automate that. That way, actually, they won't have to rely on a person. They can continue their business. That is called business continuity. RPA is actually contributing to business continuity, no matter whether it doesn't depend on the persons, basically. No matter what the situation is, their business will be continuing. They don't want to stop, or they don't want to hold on for a person or for any reason. That is where with COVID, we thought the IT and then the information technology people will lose their jobs, but it was the other. It happened the other way. Um, so many people lost their jobs in the other areas like service industry, and then restaurants, and then movie theaters, or some other unskilled. But when it comes to the IT, there were so many jobs created, especially in automation area and artificial intelligence. There are so many jobs created, and it is there's a lot of demand in the market for machine learning experts, RPA analysts, RPA developers, and then data engineers and the artificial intelligence engineers. So with this, I actually conclude my session.
Please raise your hand if you have any queries. Please pose your queries to the resource person. If you have any queries, please raise your hand so that I will allow you.
Yeah, I'm having some 2 to 3 queries.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So first query is regarding the checks processing. Na? So how can a RPA robot will process the check? There may be some limitations of image processing. Is it capable of doing that one? That is the first query. And second query is regarding ownership. Who will be the owner of this RPA? Either the company which is purchasing, or the company who is maintaining. Second and third query is regarding the limitations of human employment. How can we overcome the limitations of human employment?
Okay, I'll answer the first question. So when it comes to this checks processing, there are several OCRs in the market that are capable of reading the handwriting up to some extent. So what it does is, we have something called ABI OCR, and then in the every RPA tool it has inbuilt OCRs. It actually can read the scanned images and then scanned checks. It actually can extract the data like the check number, account number, and routing number, whom we are paying for, or who the check has, from whom the check has come from. So all of those details it can actually extract, and then it can actually send that extracted data to backend processing systems. That way the entire check is processed. When we see here, there's all of the banking applications, banking mobile applications, they have a facility of scanning the checks from the mobile app. As soon as you scan the check, actually next immediate day the check will be processed, and then you'll have the amount credited to your account. So those kind of softwares with RPA, and then OCR engines like ABI, with these two combinations, and Tesseract OCRs, and then Modi OCR from Microsoft, and then some other OCRs, the checks processing is feasible. And then when it comes to the second question, regarding your who is the owner of the RPA, It depends on the business model. So some people, some organizations, they want to maintain entire RPA by themselves. In some organizations, they actually give it to the implementation partners like Cognizant, TCS, or Miracle, whoever has implemented the entire RPA. It depends. And some organizations, actually, the RPA software, they actually can have it on their premise. Some have everything on cloud, so they can go for Azure cloud or AWS cloud, or Oracle cloud, for that matter. And what was your third question?
Third question is regarding the human job scarcity. How can we avoid that one? There will be a problem.
Yeah, job scarcity, that is something is challenging. Human job scarcity means whoever is like whoever have their process automated, they need to upskill themselves, learn new things, maybe go to a different area so that they can contribute to the organization and then keep their job. That is one thing. And then when it comes to the scarcity, so we from Miracle, we are actually taking people and then training them in RPA. That way we actually don't have the scarcity of RPA resources.
One more last question. How can this bot spam attacks can be handled by this bot itself?
Oh, spam attacks?
On the other side, there is another bot who is trying to ask some questions regarding an account creation or anything. Then how can the identification of that is either human or a RPA?
It can be done by the conversational chatbot itself, because when we basically being a person, I cannot ask for somebody else's account data, right? So in order for me to get my account data, there are some authentications that people do. When the bot actually starts, when they start conversating with the bot, they actually send a send a one-time message to their actually mobile numbers. That way they will eliminate all the spam people. First thing. Second thing is they ask various security questions. And third thing is they may ask their social security number, which is very confidential. In the US, nobody asks others social security number. Nobody reveals that. And then date of birth. With a combination of security questions and then personal data, we can eliminate spam talking to the robots.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for your good presentation.
Thank you.
Still anyone having doubts? So thank you, sir. I want to extend my generous thanks to the research person, Sri T. Enchireti Garu, because there its time is early morning, 3 o'clock, I think. Really enlightened with your knowledge, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for giving this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Dear participants, please fill the feedback link, which is the chat box. Now it's time to present a formal vote of thanks. I deem it an honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion. First and foremost, I would like to thank our chief guest, K.B. Chandrasekhar Garu, Vice Chancellor, Krishna University, who despite his busy schedule has found time to grace this occasion. And I also express my thanks to Professor Y.K. Sundar Krishna Garu, Registrar, Krishna University, and able administrator for his valuable contribution. We are grateful to Professor D. Surachandra Rao Garu, Principal, University College of Arts and Science, and Sri E. Varaprasad Garu, Principal, College, for their words of encouragement, and their able guidance has always encouraged us. My special thanks to the management of KBN College to come forward and motivate us for organizing this seminar. My heartfelt thanks to the resource persons, Dr. K.V. Kadambari Garu from NIT Warangal and Sri T. Anjureddy Garu from Miracles of Solutions USA for accepting our invitation and enlighten the participants with their presentation. I thank our well-wisher Dr. R. Kiran Kumar Garu, Webinar Director, for his unstinted support to organize this webinar. And also my special thanks to the Dr. G. Krishna Mohan Garu, who have worked hard to ensure that the occasion becomes a memorable success. Last but not least, I thank all the faculty members of Krishna University and faculty members of KBN College, the Department of Computer Science, for your cooperation in making this webinar a resounding success. Once again, I thank you all the participants for your patience listening. Thank you one and all. Please fill the feedback form which is shared in the chat box. If anyone wants to give their feedback, please.